Hello, beautiful parents in the house and to everyone that is watching me. My name is Lasisi.
On the morning of November 2nd, 2025, 40-year-old Victor Fajemirokun made a chilling request to his girlfriend, 39-year-old Fumilayo Lasisi, who worked as a Federal Road Safety Corps officer in Osun State. He asked her to meet him for a spiritual cleansing with a native doctor he had discovered on TikTok. The meeting was to take place in Osun State, where Victor, a businessman from Osogbo, had promised that this ritual would solve some personal problems. Fumilayo, who had trusted Victor, agreed, unaware of the horrifying truth that lay ahead. Although she was married, her husband lived abroad and she had been seeing Victor for some time. She had no idea that Victor had already visited this native doctor and that the healer had made a disturbing revelation. Fumilayo herself was the source of Victor's spiritual misfortune. The healer claimed that as long as she was alive, Victor would never find peace. The healer, known as Boyega Daramola, had his own hidden agenda, one far too darker than either Victor or Fumilayo could ever imagine. Fumilayo left home in Obasan Hilltop Estate, Abeokuta, that morning with her teenage daughter, Sewa Lasisi. She told her family that she would be back later, but that day marked the last time anyone saw both of them alive. As hours turned into days and calls to their phones weren't answered, panic set in. Fumilayo and her daughter Sewa had vanished without a trace. Desperate, the family had filed a missing persons report, sharing the little information they had. Fumilayo was with Victor and was heading to a shrine for a spiritual session. Police immediately began investigating. Using phone tracking technology, they traced Fumilayo's last known location to a shrine in Ejujesa, Osun State. There, the police discovered the shocking truth. When officers arrived at the shrine, they found Boyega Daramola, the native doctor, and quickly arrested him. Under questioning, Daramola confessed that Fumilayo and her daughter Sewa were dead. He revealed that Victor had led Fumilayo there, believing that she was the cause of his misfortune and had been manipulated into the gruesome plan. Victor became a wanted man. Police circulated his photo and the nationwide manhunt began. Meanwhile, investigations continued, revealing even more disturbing details. The hunt soon expanded across borders. Victor was tracked to Ghana, where he was arrested by the Ghanaian police and extradited back to Nigeria. As more suspects were arrested, the truth unfolded. Victor had met Daramola on TikTok and had visited the shrine earlier, where the healer claimed that Fumilayo's spiritual manipulations was responsible for his problems. According to Daramola, the solution was to bring Fumilayo to the shrine for rituals. Victor, believing Daramola's claim, convinced Fumilayo to join him, telling her that they both needed spiritual cleansing. But when Fumilayo arrived with her daughter, the nightmare began. Daramola, with the help of his assistants, led them deep into the forest under the pretense of performing cleansing rituals. There, they brutally attacked and killed both Fumilayo and her daughter Sewa. One of Daramola's assistants, Sunday James, confessed to carrying out the murders. He said that Daramola had ordered him to kill Fumilayo and her daughter Sewa, claiming that they were the source of Victor's spiritual problems. James led the police to the location where the bodies were dumped. Fumilayo's dismembered remains were found near a dam and Sewa's body was discovered nearby, both victims mutilated beyond recognition. Victor, during his interrogation, claimed that he hadn't realized Fumilayo would be killed until they arrived at the shrine. He insisted that he had been hypnotized and felt powerless throughout the entire ordeal, but his story didn't match the evidence. Investigators uncovered that he had met with Daramola before, knew exactly what was planned, and had been complicit in luring Fumilayo and her daughter to their deaths. Daramola also attempted to cover his tracks by shifting blames to Victor and claiming that Victor was the one that gave orders for the murder. But the confession of his assistant James contradicted his claims. Police also revealed that two men, Kende and Didu, had played a part in the gruesome killings, though they were still on the run. Victor's attempts to flee to Ghana had only delayed the inevitable. Upon his return to Nigeria, he was paraded before the media alongside Daramola and James. Standing before cameras, he attempted to explain himself, citing spiritual manipulations, but there was no excuse for the brutal deaths of Fumilayo and her daughter. This case has shocked the nation. A respected Federal Road Safety Corps officer and her innocent daughter had been lured to their deaths by someone they trusted. Their bodies were desecrated for a ritual that promised words but brought nothing but tragedy. Fumilayo walked into that shrine believing she was chasing peace, never knowing she was stepping into a deadly lie of money ritual. A lie lie that has destroyed far too many lives in silence. This tragedy reminds us again that ritual words does not exist. What exists are people desperate enough to kill and others vulnerable enough to believe their promises. Victor's belief that someone has taken his glory shows how deeply this toxic superstition have eaten deep into our society and blinding people to reason and pushing them into darkness. And the saddest part of this story is that the same men who claimed they wanted to cleanse Fumilayo were the same men who already planned her death long before she set foot in that forest. This only proves that when desperation meets ignorance, even the most educated people can be manipulated into decisions that leads into the arms of evil. Let this be a warning to all of us. Any spirituality that demands fear, secrecy, and human life is not power. It is evil dressed as deliverance, and it has taken enough innocent lives. As the investigations continues, the search for the remaining suspects continues. The families of Fumilayo and Sewa await justice. What do you think about this senseless killing of ritual for quick words that is non-existent? Share your thought in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories.